This is the Flometrics Frequency Response Measurement System. The Frequency Response Measurement System is a complete solution for testing the frequency response of catheters, disposable pressure transducers, and other equipment. The FRMS contains the full functionality for evaluating the frequency response of a unit under test across a range of frequencies. Alternatively, the FRMS can be used to generate a variety of waveforms and measure the response of each sensor for later analysis. Every time the FRMS software is started, a small amount of configuration is necessary to set up some of the global configuration items. On the right-hand side of the home screen, ensure that the allowed tolerance value is within acceptable range. This tolerance determines how closely the reference and UUT calibrations must match. For most purposes, 1 mm mercury is a good value. Next, choose the reference pressure transducer channel. Next, check the box for Use 2 UUTs if 2 units will be used for testing. Next, select the thermistor COM port. Typically, you will only see one option here. The number of the COM port will vary based on your specific computer configuration. Finally, ensure the appropriate configuration file path is selected. Generally, your organization will have set the default configuration file for you. If not, click on the folder icon to navigate to an appropriate file. Calibrating the PPG. Before using the FRMS, the pressure pulse generator must be calibrated. During the calibration process, the FRMS software outputs a series of constant voltages to the PPG. The reference transducer attached to the PPG measures the pressure in the chamber, and a curve mapping pressure to voltage is generated and stored within the software. The calibration process should be performed every time the FRMS software is started and periodically throughout testing. To calibrate the PPG, with the FRMS software started, make sure the global configuration items are set appropriately. Then, click on Calibrate PPG. The calibration window will appear. Ensure that the static pressure in the PPG is within the green range of the static pressure meter. If so, press Calibrate PPG to run the calibration sequence. If the static pressure is not within the green range, equalize the pressure in the PPG chamber with ambient. See the PPG filling videos for more information. Please note that if your PPG uses an absolute pressure transducer, you will need to consider the difference between local ambient air pressure and standard sea level pressure. You can eliminate any guesswork by equalizing the pressure in the PPG every time. When the calibration process has completed, the calibration status LED should turn green and indicate a pass. If calibration passes, press Accept Calibration. If the calibration status LED remains red and indicates no pass, troubleshoot your PPG setup. Frequency Sweep Test. The Frequency Sweep Test function of the FRMS is used to analyze the natural frequency, damping ratio, attenuation, and other frequency response characteristics of a given unit under test. This function steps through the specified frequency range, recording the response of all sensors throughout the test. The results are then calculated and saved to a report for each test. Operators can also save a cumulative distortion report for all tests. To start a frequency sweep test, after calibrating the PPG, select the Frequency Sweep Test button. Wait for the FRMS to perform additional self-checks. After the frequency sweep window appears, enter the desired test parameters on the left side of the window. Enter a product description and a part number or serial number. Then enter your company name. If distortion results are desired, open the Distortion tab. This tab allows you to choose the frequencies you would like included in cumulative reports. Using the controls on the left, select the frequencies you would like included in the reports. These frequencies will appear in the table on the right and will be included in each of the cumulative reports. The test is now ready to run. In the top right of the window, choose a report type. If no report type is selected, a report will not be saved. Press Sweep to run the test. When the test completes, the report will be saved to the location listed in the bottom right of the window. Manual pulse train response. The manual post-train response function of the FRMS allows the operator to generate any one of several common waveform types and send this waveform to the PPG. The response is then recorded and can be saved to a file for later analysis. To start the manual pulse train response, after calibrating the PPG, select the Manual Pulse Train Response button. Wait for the FRMS to perform additional self-checks. After the Manual Pulse Train Response window appears, enter the desired test parameters on the left side of the window. Press Test to run the test. When the test completes, press Save Waveform Data File to save the waveforms to a chosen location. Custom Waveform Response. The Custom Waveform Response function of the FRMS allows the operator to load a custom waveform shape, such as a heartbeat, from a text file. The operator can then send this waveform to the PPG and record the response for later analysis. To start the custom waveform response, after calibrating the PPG, select the Custom Waveform Response button. Wait for the FRMS to perform additional self-checks. After the Custom Waveform Response window appears, scroll to the bottom of the window and press Load Waveform. A new window appears. Choose the delimiter that the custom waveform uses. For a CSV file, this is typically a comma, or a tab represented by a \T. Choose an interpolation mode. Spline is generally good enough for most waveforms. For very long waveform files, interpolation may take a long time. In this case, use the linear interpolation option to reduce the interpolation time. Next, press Load Waveform File. A dialog appears. Navigate to the custom waveform file and select it. After the waveform loads, press Proceed to close this window. The LED next to the Load Waveform light should now be illuminated. This indicates that the waveform has been successfully loaded. Press Test to run the test. When the test completes, press Save Waveform Data File to save the waveforms to a chosen location. This concludes the instructional videos for the Flometrics Frequency Response Measurement System. For more information, or for additional troubleshooting tips, please contact Flometrics Inc. Contact information is included in the video description. Thanks for watching.